This video introduces you to the Tinkercad website, and particularly its circuit simulation feature. You'll find it at www.tinkercad.com. Once you see this screen, click the Sign Up button. You will have to enter your details. Once you have created your account, you will see this screen. Click Done. And it will take you to this screen to teach you how to use its 3D image creation features. We're actually after it for its circuit simulation, so click this Tinkercad logo to return to your home screen. It will give you a username based on your email address, which you can change by going to the profile settings and changing. You can use this logo for returning to the home screen at any time during use of Tinkercad. And we're not after 3D designs, we'll always need to select circuits. And now we're at the part where you can click Create New Circuit. And when it loads, you will see this workspace with the Components menu. You can click to expand or shrink this window and look through the components list by scrolling down. It'll give you just the basic, more commonly used components first. If you click All Components, you can see through all that are available. And if you're searching for a particular one, type in this window here. And everything that matches the letters you've put there will turn up in the menu. When you would like to take a component, click it and the menu disappears while you drag it to wherever you like in the workspace, release it and the menu reappears. Take a resistor and a diode. Let's take a button. An LED. If we look further down the menu, they're divided into categories. We'll take a 9-volt battery. And we'll take a breadboard. The breadboard's small, which can sit behind it for the moment. And it also simulates Arduino microcontroller boards, but we can look at that in future. To close the menu, either click on the workspace or click the components window. We can continually reposition the components as required. And click on a component and you can then use this rotate button to move it to the angle that you'd like to. And you can use this delete button to get rid of it altogether. And you have your undo and redo buttons. And you can also use your keyboard, press the delete key if you need to get rid of a component. Now we can connect legs of parts directly together like this, or we can connect them out by using a wire like that. Or if you'd like to run a wire but you need to run around a corner, just click at the point you'd like a bend and you can move it on. Now you can see as I rotate this around, when it gets to horizontal we have a blue line, and when it gets to vertical we also have a blue line. Helps us to line up the wires. And if we've already got one in place that we need to adjust like this, you can move it so that it's horizontal and vertical using the blue lines like that. So I'll press delete. Delete this wire, delete that wire, and we'll just set the resistor. The pin of the resistor is in this hole, and all the other holes in this column light up, which shows that they are electrically connected to each other. So rather than having to join them out in space or solder them together, you can just use a breadboard to join two components together. For instance, if I put this LED there, then that leg is now connected to that leg. And I'll do the same for the push button. Now with this breadboard, we can only see these 5 are connected, but they're not connected across this gap in the middle. So to join this leg to the push button, we'll need to run a wire across the gap in the middle. And now if we put the battery down here so that it's connected into this positive rail, then every one of these holes should have 9 volts available to it. And in this row connected to the negative terminal, every one of these holes is also connected to the negative terminal. You need to run a wire from the positive rail up to this hole, which now completes the circuit from the battery through the resistor, through the positive leg of the LED, which is the anode, to the cathode, through the wire, through the push button, and back to the battery. Now this switch is actually not in the correct place. So if I move it over here and run a wire across to this leg, and so when the switch is pressed, it will join it to this leg, and then I can run it back through to the battery. We should now have a complete circuit which makes use of the switch. So if I click Start Simulation, nothing happens until we click the switch and the LED lights up. We can stop simulation, adjust the value of the resistor, for instance, by changing things here. I can make that a 10 kilo ohm resistor instead. Start the simulation. And it still works, but it is much less bright than it was before. All right, you'll notice this name up here. That's an automatically assigned name for this circuit. If we click the Tinkercad button to go back out to our home screen, it lists any circuits you have here with a thumbnail picture. If we click the Settings button, Properties, we can call this Switched LED or whatever. And if we need to, we can duplicate it so that we can modify one and keep a backup copy, for instance. And when we want to open them again, you just click the Tinker This button to go back in. When you're all finished, you can log out if you choose. Okay, and you should be ready to go to start creating circuits.